The man called Air deciding to walk away from the game he loves.
I've been on this roller coaster for 9 years. It's just time for me to ride something else.
This is the CBS Evening News with Dan Rather and Connie Chung.
Good evening. After 9 years in the NBA, Michael Jordan has retired from pro basketball. Full coverage of the Air Jordan story in just a moment.
But first, tonight's lead, more U.S. troops for Somalia, the latest in the swirling foreign policy and military test facing President Clinton. Somalia is suddenly a more painful and dangerous issue, and after some delay, President Clinton has reportedly decided on a new U.S. policy. After 2 days of stinging criticism from both Republicans and Democrats in Congress, the president said today the U.S. needs to, and I quote now, conclude its role in Somalia. White House correspondent Rita Braver has the latest on this still developing story live from the White House. Rita?
Good evening, Dan. White House sources say that after agonizing over Somalia for several days, Mr. Clinton is now prepared to send in still more troops, believing that the U.S. cannot cut and run. He is also expected to announce a date certain for withdrawal that will be about several months away. He will have no formal announcement of his plan, however, until tomorrow. Aides say that he wants to consult with congressional leaders and that details of this plan could change at the last minute. However, obviously aware of mounting public and congressional criticism of his leadership during this crisis, today the president made a short statement justifying a continued U.S. presence in Somalia.
Our men and women in Somalia, including any held captive, deserve our full support. We are anxious to conclude our role there honorably, but we do not want to see a reversion to the absolute chaos and the terrible misery which existed before.
And White House sources say that the president has decided to stop waiting for the United Nations to act and is sending Ambassador Robert Oakley to Ethiopia to work with African leaders in finding a political settlement for the Somalia crisis and also to get help in negotiating the release of the captured American soldier. Dan.
Rita Braver live at the White House. Thanks.
Word tonight from Somali warlord Mohammed Aidid that his men are holding just one American captive, the helicopter pilot Michael Durant, who's been seen on videotape this week. Aidid's people say Durant is being treated well and will not be used as a human shield to protect Aidid. From the Pentagon now, National Security Correspondent David Martin has the latest on the growing U.S. troop commitment.
As reinforcements continue to load up for Somalia, the Pentagon has prepared orders to up the ante again by sending 1,500 to 2,000 more troops into the hellhole of Mogadishu. That would double the number of American combat troops in Somalia. Their mission? Prevent a repeat of Sunday's disaster in which a company of Army Rangers was nearly wiped out. Some of the wounded from Sunday's firefight, now hospitalized in Germany, told what it was like to be members of a unit that suffered 70% casualty.
16 hours being pinned down is definitely a downer. We had to wait for reinforcements to come on the ground to pull us out. They hit a lot of roadblocks and a lot of obstacles, so it made it difficult for us. We just had to wait and buy our time till they could get to us.
Without tanks to break through the roadblocks, the reinforcements took too long to get there. Sergeant Robert Jackson rode to the rescue in an armored personnel carrier.
If you ever seen that movie Clint Eastwood in when he's in the bus and all the policemen are firing at him, it was just like that. I mean, I was like, oh God, I'm gonna die, and you know.
The U.S. military, which could do no wrong in Iraq, suddenly seems as if it can do no right in Somalia. It's the same military, but a different battleground.
They're trying to establish a security in a clan stronghold in an urban area. And it's not clear that that can be done with military force under the rules that we have them operating under right now.
No one is suggesting that putting in more troops will increase the chances of capturing Mohammed Aidid. In fact, there are those in the Pentagon who warn that more troops only mean more targets for Aidid to shoot at. Connie?
Thank you, David Martin at the Pentagon.
Now, tonight's other major story, the stunning decision by one of the world's best-known celebrities, Michael Jordan, to give up professional basketball at the top of his game. Ever since the word got out, people have been asking why. Today, Jordan gave his answer. We have two reports, beginning with correspondent Frank Courier in Chicago.
Saying he's lost the heart and desire to keep playing the game, Michael Jordan today retired from basketball.
This is my choice, and I've always wanted to make it my choice.
No pressure, he said, no regrets.
I've reached the pinnacle of my career. I've achieved a lot in that short amount of time. I just feel that I don't have anything else for myself to prove.
A surprise announcement leaked last night after Jordan tossed out the first pitch at baseball's playoff opener. And it comes amidst a career of unprecedented success. A 7th straight year as the NBA's scoring leader, a 3rd consecutive championship for his Chicago Bulls.
I know that kids are going to be disappointed, but hopefully they learn that Michael Jordan was once a basketball player, but now he's a human being, he's a man, he must continue on, he has a family, he got other things he must achieve.
Retirement, Jordan said, was influenced but not decided by the brutal shooting death of his father last July, as prosecutors in North Carolina prepare to seek the death penalty against his accused assailants.
I guess the biggest positive thing that I can take out of my father not being here with me today is that he saw my last basketball game, and that means a lot.
Shock has overwhelmed Chicago's fascination this week with the White Sox, leading many fans to wonder if basketball will ever be the same.
At first I thought maybe it was a hoax or something, but when it's true, it's just unbelievable.
Without him, it's not going to be the same.
I was in shock. I was in complete shock. I couldn't believe it.
It's a huge blow, too, for Jordan's competitors.
It is definitely a weird feeling for me and a weird day, I think, for everybody.
Including his closest friends already retired.
I'm here for him. I love him. And whatever he decides to do, I'm behind him 100%.
Dogged and exhausted by questions about his gambling, Michael Jordan says now he will leave behind the harsh glare of lights.
I don't have any reservations about stepping away from the spotlight. The spotlight's been very, very good to me. Hopefully I've been good to it.
With a year left on his contract, MJ will be paid another $4 million. But will his legend ever return to basketball?
I'm not going to close that door. I don't believe in never, and I won't ever believe in it to this point.
In a recent interview, Michael Jordan was quoted saying, "Take a good look, because 1 minute I'll be there, the next I'll be gone." Till today, few would have believed it. Frank Courier, CBS News, Chicago.
What if my name wasn't in lights? What if my face wasn't on TV every other second?
Michael Jordan must have pondered that question at times. Talk about celebrity. In China, only Mao Zedong's more popular than Michael Jordan, and they don't even play all that much basketball in China. And he earned it. When Michael Jordan was on a basketball court, it was sometimes like a grown man playing among children. On the radio today with New York sports writer Mike Lupica, Jordan's teammate Trent Tucker remembered what it was like to be on the road with him.
You go into these small towns that doesn't have NBA basketball, and now Michael Jordan is coming to town. I mean, people are going nuts. I mean, it's like the Beatles are coming to town.
He is not of this world, and there was an otherworldly aspect to Michael Jordan, that he did things that nobody else could do.
Look who's here.
Hello.
He's also the world's highest paid athlete. He makes more than $30 million a year just doing TV commercials like these.
Like Mike, if I could be like Mike.
I think the fact that he could fly is really magical on television, and it brought people who were not basketball fans in just at the sheer majesty and grace of his movement.
Michael Jordan's been good for business and even better for pro basketball, and now with his going, an era's truly ended. Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, all those superstars of the Olympic Dream Team have retired. So it's sad to know he's leaving, and nobody's more disappointed than all those kids who dreamed of growing up to be Michael Jordan.
He's an icon. The guy is unstoppable.
Most people will say he was the greatest basketball player that ever lived.
It's not everybody who can retire at 30, but at least Jordan won't have to worry about the wolf at the door. His multi-million-dollar endorsement contracts are good for years to come. Richard Threlkeld, CBS News, New York.
This is just not a good day for Chicago sports fans. The White Sox lost their second straight American League playoff game to Toronto. The Blue Jays head back to Toronto, leading the series now 2-0.
Straight ahead on tonight's CBS Evening News. The October Rebellion is over in Moscow. Now Boris Yeltsin vows a future for all of Russia without communism.
And Eye on America tonight, gaining a stronger voice to fight the powers that be. Boris Yeltsin spoke to the Russian people today for the first time since his troops crushed that hardline revolt. He promised to stamp out what he called communo-fascism and move ahead with democracy. But he said the lesson learned is that democracy must be ready to use force to defend itself. Correspondent Cindy Kennard is in Moscow.
The Russian White House bombarded by Boris Yeltsin's army. Its interior smashed in a 10-hour assault was shown on Russian television for the first time tonight. The parliament's lobby is covered with shattered glass. Legislators' offices are in shambles, including the one where Yeltsin's chief rival, Alexander Rudskoy, ran the rebellion for nearly 2 weeks. In an address to his nation tonight, Yeltsin said the new elections he called for 2 weeks ago when he dissolved parliament will go ahead in December. And he said those responsible for the rebellion will be punished under the law. But the Russian president was not entirely without mercy today. Some of the hundreds captured and jailed after the storming of the White House were released, still defiant. Tomorrow, all of Russia remembers those killed in what Yeltsin now calls the October Rebellion. He has declared a national day of mourning and urged the country to get back on the road to reform and democracy. Still, some wonder if Yeltsin risks destroying democracy as he tries to save it. A small demonstration in downtown Moscow was stopped by riot police moments after it started today.
What a wise president should do is to limit this democracy as less as possible and to take as effective actions as he can and to come back to democracy as soon as he can.
Russia's president did take one symbolic step to erase the past tonight. For nearly 70 years, soldiers marched across Red Square to stand watch at Lenin's tomb. Tonight, by Yeltsin's order, the honor guard for the founder of the Soviet Union is gone. Cindy Kennard, CBS News, Moscow.
Israeli Prime Minister Rabin and PLO chief Yasser Arafat got down to the business of peacemaking. Today, the two held their first working meeting in Cairo with Egyptian President Mubarak. This time, they did not shake hands for the cameras. Rabin declined. But they did agree to begin full-scale talks a week from today on Palestinian self-rule in Gaza and Jericho.
Stay with us for much more CBS Evening News, including Judgment Day for a fugitive after a lifetime on the run. The FBI today appealed for the public's help in finding a serial bomber. The so-called Unabomber has targeted university professors and computer experts since 1978. The last known attack was this past June. In all, the bombs have killed 1 person and injured 23. Motive unclear. The FBI says the bomber is expected to strike again, and soon.
For another long-time fugitive from justice, this was a day of reckoning. Catherine Ann Power faced a judge's sentence. She also faced the family of the man who died because of her and others a generation ago. Correspondent Jacqueline Adams reports.
It was a wound that couldn't heal until now. 23 years ago, a band of anti-war activists robbed a bank and murdered a Boston police officer. Today, the final fugitive, Catherine Ann Power, was sentenced for her role. 8 to 12 years in prison. In the Boston courtroom, though, 2 families grieved, her own and that of her victim, Walter Schroeder.
And my mother never had the comfort of knowing that he died with his soul at peace. And he never had a chance to say goodbye.
In the week since Power turned herself in, the Schroeders have been outraged. A criminal, they say, is getting book and movie offers, while her victim, the father of 9, is being ignored.
Somehow or another, America seems to make her out to be a hero, some kind of celebrity. That is like pouring salt on our wound.
In her only public statement, Power tried to apologize.
I cannot possibly say in words how sorry I am for the death of Officer Schroeder.
But the judge was unmoved. Beyond the prison time, he prohibited Power from profiting from her crimes for 20 years. A violation could mean life in prison.
I will not permit profit on the lifeblood of a Boston police officer.
After the sentencing, Power was visibly relieved. Her lawyer said the judge's ruling was no problem since Power has no interest in profit. Jacqueline Adams, CBS News, New York.
Still to come on tonight's CBS Evening News. The nation's highest court and the cost of special education. Who should pay and just how much?
In Los Angeles, it was day 4 of jury deliberations in the trial of 2 men accused of attacking truck driver Reginald Denny. Today, the jury asked another question about evidence. Meanwhile, the judge secretly ordered the jury members sequestered to protect them from outside influence.
In Washington, the U.S. Supreme Court today took up this question. How far must the government and taxpayers go to help educate children with learning disabilities? Correspondent Eric Ingberg has our report.
Shannon Carter, 23 years old, has a job, an education, and bright prospects, but only because she found teachers who helped her deal with severe learning disabilities.
I forget. I mean, I can read like one paragraph, and as soon as I get to the next one, I'll forget what's in that first paragraph.
Her dyslexia meant that as a junior high student in South Carolina several years ago, she could not read, could not learn, and seemed on course for disaster.
And I got very depressed. No self-confidence, very low esteem, and suicidal.
Alarmed, Shannon's parents asked the local school board to provide appropriate special courses as required by federal law. School officials offered to augment Shannon's regular schooling here with a special education instructor 3 days a week. The family said that wasn't enough.
We were very upset about her emotionally as well as educationally. We felt like that we had to find something and find something really fast.
They chose a private school 100 miles away which specializes in teaching children with learning disabilities. When the state refused to pay the $35,000 bill for the private schooling, the Carters went to court. Today, their lawyer, Peter Wright, who like Shannon has fought a lifetime battle against dyslexia, stressed that federal laws and the courts have determined every child deserves an education regardless of handicaps. The nation's school boards, whose concerns about cost brought them into this case, argue parents don't have the right to pick just any school. The Carters, awaiting the court's ruling, say their focus is on removing roadblocks to the learning disabled, because as they put it, there are other Shannons out there. Eric Ingberg, CBS News, Washington.
Governor Pete Wilson of California has just signed 4 laws that are designed to crack down on illegal immigrants. Criminals, the governor calls them. It will be tougher for them now to get jobs and state services. Immigration has become a hot-button issue, and a lot of politicians are pushing the button. As correspondent John Blackstone reports in tonight's Eye on America.
Good morning. How are you today? Check under the hood for you today.
In the battle to control America's borders, Eddie Cortez was almost a casualty. Though he was born in California, though his family's been here for 3 generations, some government officials weren't sure he belongs.
This is America. This is a country that I love.
Most people in Pomona, California know Eddie. He provides prompt, reliable service at the gas pump and at City Hall.
Yes, can you tell him that Mayor Eddie Cortez returned his phone call?
But a few weeks ago, the Border Patrol almost shipped Mayor Cortez off to Mexico. They thought he was an illegal immigrant.
What it comes down to it, basically, is if you are Mexican-looking.
Cortez says he was caught up in the wave of hostility toward immigrants that's now breaking over California.
¿Cómo están? No se mueven. Soy la migra. California is a very poor economic situation right now. Very, very poor. So, well, let's find somebody to blame.
Immigrants, whether legal or not,
able to enforce our borders.
It is illegal immigration that is...
In California, politicians gain almost instant popularity these days, proposing new ways to get tough with those who should not be here.
One person advocated that illegal immigrants be shot at the border and left to die.
In this nation of immigrants, those who arrived most recently have the weakest voice in political debate. That's made it easy for many politicians to climb on the anti-immigrant bandwagon, and difficult for those who stand against it.
the scapegoating and bashing immigrants have reached a degree of insanity.
Last year the target was welfare mothers. This year the target are immigrants. Members, when are we going to stop target practice?
Those few in California politics who are standing up for immigrant rights are examples of an American ideal. In as little as a generation, they have risen from modest immigrant roots to political office.
The mayor of the city of Sacramento, Joe Cerna. Joe?
Joe Cerna's grandmother crossed from Mexico without legal papers. Now he's the mayor of California's capital.
I'm a politician. I know how important re-election is. But, you know, you don't sell your soul for a re-election campaign. What you do when you attack immigrants, you're attacking the core of a wonderful American heritage.
In other countries, that might be acceptable, but not in America. This is America. This is a country that I love. This is the flag that I stand up and salute to and say the Pledge of Allegiance to.
As Eddie Cortez discovered, these days, just looking like an immigrant can mean trouble. In a nation built by immigrants, that raises the question, what does a real American look like? In Pomona, California, this is John Blackstone for Eye on America.
And that's our news. Coming up on CBS this morning, Tipper Gore on health care reform and her battle to expand coverage for mental illness. Join Harry Smith and Paula Zahn first thing in the morning.
And don't forget the National League Baseball playoff game tonight, Phillies and Braves. The Tomahawk Chop comes to the city of brotherly love live here on CBS. Connie and I will see you again tomorrow on the CBS Evening News. Good night.
Good night.